Greetings dear readers, I am back with another video. In one of my previous videos I talked about books that would make awesome heavy metal songs. I will link it down in the description. Today I'd love to talk about metal in general and how I got into metal. Music. It has been a part of my life since I was very young. No matter when I went, music was always there. But I wasn't passionate about it growing up for two reasons. When I was a kid, I was more into books, films and computer games. And second, let's be honest, I didn't like most of the music I heard. If there's one thing more annoying than pop music, it's Russian pop music, which in Russia we called Российская эстрада, Russian estrade. I really don't want to talk about such music, so move on. Growing up, I was introduced to American pop music more and more. I really didn't like pop music because I thought the musicians and the music itself were far too edgy for me. They didn't resonate with me and I always felt like I thought there was something that pushed me away. In 2009, I discovered Evanescence. I kept listening to Evanescence for 2 or 3 years. Their early stuff, well, pre-Fallen era, they still hold a special place in my heart for nostalgia values. But when I heard Evanescence later material like The Open Door and their self-titled album, I didn't like these albums and stopped resonating with me, and around 2011 I quit listening to Evanescence except for a few songs. And then I switched to another band I discovered in 2009 and it was Nightwish. To be honest, I didn't pay much attention to Nightwish until 2012. The only songs from Nightwish that I did love were Nemo and the 2005 version of Sleeping Sun. I also heard the Oceanborn version of Sleeping Sun, and to be honest, I think the 2005 version is so much better. Can you imagine that I considered songs like Wishmaster and Wish I Had an Angel and even Over the Hills and Far Away way too fast and heavy for me? Yeah, I was so soft. I was so soft that even when after Nightwish I also heard Rammstein, the very first song I heard was Sonne, I really thought, oh my gosh, how is this music? Yes, I really didn't like Rammstein when I first heard them. I thought they were incredibly scary. The music was scary, way too scary for me. To be honest, I'm still not a Rammstein fan. I really like songs like Spring and Du Hast and Deutschland. But that's kinda all. In one of my future videos, I will talk about how I did not learn German, and I will talk about Rammstein a little more. And now let's go back to Nightwish. So this band was my true escape. I must say they were my escape because at the time I was preparing for university. I had exams, I was preparing for them. There was a lot of pressure in my life back then. And listening to Nightwish and watching BBC's Sherlock made things easier for me. For me, the biggest surprise about Nightwish was to find out that these guys were from Finland. Seriously, I thought they were from the US or from the UK. But then again, I assumed that every band that sang in English was from the US. The fact that a band could be from not from US or UK and sing in English just didn't come to my mind. I just didn't think of it. I have been listening for metal for around 9 years. Throughout these 9 years, I've listened to various bands from various countries. I really didn't care which countries they came from as long as I liked the songs. But then one day I decided to clean up my playlist and to sort songs by albums, by genres, by artists, and to dive deeper into the bands to find more information about them. And when I did which countries they were from, UK, Finland, Sweden, and Germany. Well, mostly these four countries. Are songs from that were made in Sweden, Finland, and Germany in their respective languages? Well, some of them are, but most of them are still in English. In 2013, I dived deeper into rock and metal, but I listened to more mainstream bands. I listened to Black Sabbath, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Linkin Park, AC/DC, Rammstein, well, more Rammstein than in 2013. Out of these bands, only Black Sabbath really grew on me. I still listen to them. I got myself an Ozzy Osbourne biography. I am Ozzy, and while reading to this autobiography, I listened to the first 5 Black Sabbath albums. There is one thing I really want to show you, and that's, I really hope you can see this. It's iPod Shuffle. It's very old and worn out and it's broken. This little thing can fit approximately 270 songs. Now I have iPhone 7 Plus, and that's how I listen to music and how I'm filming. And I must admit I'm a huge Spotify user. I have become a huge Spotify premium user recently. Why I showed this iPod to you? Here's one reason. As I discovered more bands, and liked more songs, I really wanted to have them on my iPod. Unfortunately, since the space was limited on my iPod, I had to delete songs. And this was kinda beginning of an end of Nightwish being my #1 band. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still a fan of Nightwish. I even have a Nightwish shirt. I filmed one video or two in it. I still revisit their albums. Well, yesterday I listened to Imaginarium album, but I'm not a die-hard Nightwish fan anymore like I was in the past. Also, I really don't like the last 2 albums. I think they're kinda way too mild for me. Now let's move on from Nightwish to other bands. The next bands I discovered were Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne's solo career, and Rainbow, Powerwolf, and Korpiklani. And out of these, I'm a fan of Iron Maiden and the first 3 Rainbow albums. The rest of the bands are good, but I'm not really a fan of either of these. There was a time when I listened to a lot of Korpiklani, well, around 2015. Yes, I listened to a lot of Korpiklani, and their song Vodka is still one of my favorite songs. There's one non-metal band I really want to mention. While they're not metal, I'm a huge fan of Blackmore's Night. It's a really good medieval rock band, and if you're a metalhead and you're searching for a non-metal band with the folk elements, well, Blackmore's Night is for you, I think. I also discovered Sabaton and Accept, but although I needed a few years to appreciate them. One fun fact about Sabaton: the first song I heard was Atero Dominatus, and I thought that the beginning, the very first few seconds, really sound like Nightwish's Wishmaster. There's a reason I needed a few years to appreciate Sabaton. The deal is that at the time, in 2013, at the time I discovered them, I had 12th century history at university. Back in the day, I thought that this topic wasn't mine at all. It wasn't my favorite subject. And when I heard Atero Dominatus and read the lyrics, I was like, 2000th century history again? No way! And I ditched Sabaton for a few years. And then, when time came for me to prepare for university for a master's degree, especially when I was prepared to study in English, I listened to a lot of Sabaton, and they even helped me out on an exam. Yes, such thing happened. Metal has an educational value. But Sabaton isn't the only band I originally ditched. Around 2013 and 14, I was really into Tolkien. I read The Lord of the Rings, and then The Silmarillion. Around the same time, I heard a ballad of the same name, well, Lord of the Rings. I looked at the title and I was like, well, the guys behind these songs are huge Tolkien nerds. Apart from Lord of the Rings, there were also two more songs I heard, and yes, I liked them, then forgot about them for a few months. Then in early 2014, I discovered the Song of Ice and Fire, and oh my gosh, I really remember that I was really obsessed with Game of Thrones. I loved the books, I loved the show. I went to Seven Kingdoms website, well, there's a Russian website for A Song of Ice and Fire fans, where I read theories over and over again, and I waited from season to season. I'm kinda still waiting for the books, despite that my obsession watered down. I'm still hoping to read The Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring one day. A few months later, when I was scrolling one fan site on social media dedicated to A Song of Ice and Fire, I discovered a song that was written about one of the main characters. When I saw the name of the band, I was like, hey, I know these guys. It's those Tolkien nerds. So I listened to the song and read the lyrics. The lyrics of that song were full of English words I didn't know. I was like, oh my gosh, so many hard English words. I don't know them. I'm a foreign English speaker, that's too much for me. And I really didn't think that the guy who wrote the lyrics was also a foreign English speaker. Then I listened to more of these band songs and discovered that 99% of their songs were based on some source material, a book or a show or a film. And some of them were original. I suddenly realized that you could read books and show your passion to the world, could turn your hobby and passion into something beneficial. I must say that these Tolkien nerds really influenced my reading choices, and I will make a separate video about that. You might have guessed who are these Tolkien nerds I'm talking about. That's right, I'm talking about Blind Guardian. And the song that I was talking about is A Voice in the Dark from their At the Edge of Time album. One thing I really love about metal is that it has a variety of subgenres and they're all different. You can tell one subgenre from another, even if there are similarities between them. I listen to classical heavy metal, thrash, industrial, black, death, folk, symphonic, progressive, and power. My favorites are classical heavy and power. I can say that metal really affected my life, and it affected my studies, my writing, and even my reading list. To everyone making metal music out there, thank you so much. I might not know you, your band, or maybe know about you, but just not be a fan, but still thank you all the same. You're making the world a better place, at uniting people and giving them good music and so on. Never in my life I thought that the screams of men old enough to be my fathers would bring me so much joy and calm me down. Okay, it isn't just about screaming. I really love metal screams. Yes, I'm in for good metal screaming, I really appreciate that. But I really prefer the vocalists, men and women alike, who can actually sing, not just scream. That's kind of the reason why I prefer classic and power above all. They have the most interesting vocalists and instrumentals. Thank you so much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe and wait for more videos in the future. What's your favorite subgenre or a band? What's your favorite album? Comment down below. Bye.